Hi folks, how are you doing? Um, I'm doing my career profile, my second career profile on being a psychologist today, specifically a clinical psychologist. And I live here in Calgary, Alberta, so I've referenced a lot of things according to Alberta um, and the different characteristics associated with psychology position here. An example organization I chose was Brown, Borum and Associates, which is a private psychology clinic here in Calgary. And Nicole Brown Borum is the main psychologist there, and does a lot of work with families, individuals, couples, everything you name it. She does a lot of different things. Um, when it comes to being a psychologist here in Alberta, there's the working environment is very interesting. Psychologists can work in many different environments. The work hours, flexibility, and personal independence factors will be varied because of that. Places psychologists can work are mental health clinics, correctional facilities, hospitals, private practices, rehabilitation centers, schools, business and industrial settings, and post-secondary institutions. Many psychologists work in their own private practices, of course, and dictate their own hours of business. Um, as a result, they're more flexible in when they work and how often they work and how they set their hours. Um, Typical stressors of a position like this end up being coping problems, burnout, um, and stress management. Being able to hear the problems of many different people and varied problems throughout the day and weeks can be very difficult to take if you don't have the necessary skills to deal with them, and those tend to be interest in helping others, having the emotional maturity and stability to deal with these types of people that need your assistance. Good communication skills, flexibility, willingness to learn new approaches. Those types of things help you with stressors. When it comes to benefits, health, retirement, and those kind of things, a lot of the people who work in this profession end up with their own practice, or they're working via contract, and so that pays them by the hour. And a lot of times these professionals end up having to go to private healthcare to take care of their own health benefits, pay for it on a monthly basis, and basically choose what they want for coverage and what they don't. Um, Common job tasks. Psychologists are generally consulting, providing assessments, treating various disorders and problems with people. Um, some examples of services that a psychologist can provide are personal growth, career planning, life transition, learning attention difficulties, marital relationship issues, parenting and family concerns, separation, divorce, depression, stress, anxiety, list goes on, pain management, habit disorders. It's a very large list. Uh, Educational requirements to be a psychologist here in Alberta is to complete a master's degree in psychology or equivalent. So it takes about 6 years of schooling. Starting salary range was interesting. It's quite precise actually. It said 48 an hour, or what that came out to be about 77,000 per year. For somebody who's experienced, it was closer to $62 an hour, 61.59 to be precise, which came out to be about 107,000 a year. And of course, this can fluctuate. It can go higher than that probably. It can be a bit lower than that maybe. It depends on your experience, how good you are, and a lot of factors can have an effect on that. The average here, though, is 54 dollars an hour, or nearly $94,000 a year in Canadian money. And this is based on a work week of 33.3 hours. Okay, and this can also be based on which industry you're in, whether you're in the healthcare profession, public administration, educational, whatever. There's a skill shortage here in Alberta for psychologists, interestingly enough, and so that's good for me if it stays that way. The 2013 vacancy rate was about 3%. Percent of employers with unfilled vacancies of over 4 months was 9%. Percent of recruiting employers that experienced hiring difficulties was 38%, and percent of employers that recruited in the last 2 years was 53%. So a lot of recruiting going on. And that's it for me and being a psychologist. Thanks for listening.